Jim, your family goes back a long way on the peat industry, don't they?
Yeah, it would go back 150, 160 years ago. My mother's parents, and they were farming and peat cutting. They used to dry the peat, cut the peat, dry it, and haul it up by horse and cart to Glastonbury station.
Gosh.
Where they would put 4,000 burning peat per truck, and they would go up to London and gentry houses and such. And when it was wet, they would go down to the Turby East Road to a land called the High Piece, where they used to dig a lot of the peat, and they would haul the peat to the Reen, which was called Cuckoo Ditch, and they had a boat there where they would then load the peat onto the horse and cart, take it to the boat, load it onto the boat, and then my mother and her sister would have a rope, one each side the ditch, and then pull it all the way up through the railway ditch to the corner, Sharpham Crossing, and then reload the horses and carts to take the peat to Glastonbury station, and they would still manage to load one truck, which was 4,000 a day.
Gosh, all labour intensified.
All labour intensified. No machinery, no tractors, just horse and cart.
Now, Jim, you must have seen an awful lot of changes from your childhood.
Yeah.
We've been in to see your machinery, all your robots and so forth. It's absolutely amazing how it's changed.
Well, it has, because even in my time, or going back to Mother's time, when they used to haul the turf of the boat now is in Abbey Row Life Museum. I gave it to Bill Knight, and he's got it. He put it in there, and it changed so much because they used to, in those days, dig peat anywhere. They had no planning permission. They didn't need it. Well, wherever they could dig it, they would dig it. If the water was high in one field, they'd go to another. And that's the way they were. During the war, I can remember my mother saying, her father said, "Come on, get up, you're going to be bombed," and he put his trousers on back to front and came down the stairs. And once we dug up a Spitfire as well, a Hurricane. Father knew it came down because it had been hit off by the German on Glastonbury Relief, along by Glastonbury Relief Road, which was the railway then. And it came down in a circle, spiraling round, and it came down just about a quarter of a mile from here. But about 10-15 years ago, we decided to dig it up one Sunday morning, and we let a guy have it in Sevenoaks up in Kent to restore it.
I've read accounts where during the invasion scare in 1940, the Somerset levels could have been possibly used for landing, and so to stop gliders or any aircraft landing down on the moors, they filled the fields up with all kinds of booby traps.
Yeah, and all the land round here they ploughed for potatoes and such. But this is a hay knife, and this is marking them up through, which were known as stooling them.
I'd like to point out that Mr. Marsh hasn't used this tool for 40 years.
No, true.
But it's like riding a bicycle, Jim.
Yeah.
You never forget, do you?
No.
Normally a plumb line is used on the edge. And what is that terminology you threw at me just now, Jim?
This is this is the benching them, which is 8 inches apart.
No metrification those days.
No. Well, that's what it were, 8 inches apart.
8 inches apart. A matter of interest, what sort of time of year is this best to do this sort of work?
I used to do it always in the winter.
In the winter?
Yeah.
And then, okay. So Marsh is doing 6 across. 8 inches apart, you say, Jim?
Yeah, 8 inches apart.
Stooling, that is called, isn't it, Jim?
That's stooling them.
Right. And now, what are we going to do?
The next one is benching them.
Benching them.
Yeah.
Right. What is the name of that tool, Jim?
This is original tool. We always used a hay knife.
A hay knife.
Yeah, because they were used for cutting hay, but also for cutting peat.
Amazing.
They're cutting them out.
And you said to me earlier, this is the first time in 40 years you've used that tool.
First time in 40 years.
Amazing. Now we're going across now.
Yeah, benching them, this is.
Benching. I wonder where all these terminologies came from originally.
I don't know.
I can see all the squares. Now how heavy would one of those be when you lift it out?
28 pound.
28 pounds.
Yeah.
And to think when you lifted that out, you could have water underneath. You could be standing in water all day, couldn't you?
It would have been in those days. Yeah.
Yeah. But they used to pump the water out, didn't they?
They done it by hand.
Gosh.
Yeah.
A hand pump.
No, they had a lathe bow.
What's a label?
A lathe bow is a 5-gallon tin drum. They cut one end out and they have a stick about an inch round, a withy, a bent one, and then they would stand and they'd do that.
Oh, I see.
So they pick it up there and throw it there.
Gosh.
That were a much quicker way than a bucket. Now I'll show you how.
Right, you're going to dig one out, are you?
Well, yeah, first of all you've got to dig a couple halves to get in there.
I see.
You'd actually dig them out then.
And that's about 28 pounds to lift.
Yeah, about 28
Gosh.
pounds.
Would that be the biggest ones you would dig out? That average size?
Yeah,
And then you would slit them, wouldn't you?
yeah, into 3.
Into 3.
It's quite crumbly here because it's just dry.
Well, after all that rain we've had.
Yeah.
Shall I try one, Joe?
Yeah. That's what they've been.
Katie's going to be very brave. She's going to put some muscles on her forceps.
Keep
Keep
it
them flat.
See what, sorry?
Keep them flat.
Is that in far enough?
No, no, no.
They're a lot heavier than they look actually.
You gotta go up to nearly the depth of the spade.
Further in?
No, further in.
Hold on, let me try again.
Nearly to the depth of the spade.
Oh, okay.
So Dad told you. No, you see, the problem is if you try to lift that out now, it would fall off the spade, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you can see that it's quite a work of art. Katie's never done this before,
But she's trying.
but she's
A
trying.
bit further.
It's going in.
There you are. Now if you lift them probably up there, you'll get them.
But it's a massive weight to lift.
You've got to keep this foot in there, really.
This one?
Yeah, she won't lift them. No
Okay.
sense.
Here goes a try. Perfect.
That's not a bad effort, Katie, for your first.
It's my first try.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well
saying
done.
I could manage 50 though.
Well done.
Thank
Well,
you.
you imagine we used to dig, what did we dig? 50 long, 5 deep, so that were 500 a day.
Gosh.
Wow.
As you can see, it make the sweat come out.
Yes. That's what the cider was for, you see.
Yeah.
£28
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But them the lighter ones, when you get down further, them heavier. But you need a proper tool actually. I haven't got one.
We haven't got the right tool to do this. What's the name of the tool you do the slitting with?
It's a slitter.
It's called a slitter,
But this is how it
and you
would
take
be done.
3 out.
Yeah, that's basically how it would be done. Like that. That's pretty perfect really.
Then the ladies would come along
Yeah,
and stack
they
them
would.
up.
Then they would pull them over. They would pull them over. Then they'd pull them down. And then they'd windrow them. Like that. And build them
Yeah.
up all along.
Yeah, and that was just basically to dry them out, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that dry them out.
How long would they take to
Well,
take
in the
dry?
summer, about 4 weeks.
4 weeks,
Yeah.
and then you start,
Ruckling them.
yeah.
Well, topping them actually.